Coach Jake. So today I want to talk about something that is not just a strategy, but is really truly a paradigm shift. And it's something that I'm very proud of. I've been working on it for a number of years. I just published a book, my first book on the subject, and it's called The Sportify Method. So, what's up, Lone Star, Martin, Renato, Hannah Grace, Team Brazilian, Porto Viejo, Mr. Hush, Tune, Hamadreza, probably. Oh, what's up, Enrico? Second Ross. Man, everybody's blowing me up right now. Give me a number one. Give me a roll call in the chat if you don't mind. I'd like to know where you're from, and in particular, maybe what you want me to talk about today. If there's something that I can help you with, but the topic at hand is the Sportify method, right? Imagine a world for those of you that run businesses. Now, I know that I've got a lot of people in the martial arts space, a lot of people in the technology space, a lot of people in the home services space that I service and I help. And so I want you to imagine a world where your team that's helping you with your goals of making money, putting food on the table for your family, making sure you could buy all those desktops and gaming stations for your kids this Christmas. Stuff ain't cheap, right? Imagine if your team operated like a professional sports team. Imagine that your people had the same enthusiasm that they do for your local team. Like, let's say maybe the in my case, the University of Colorado Buffaloes. People were absolutely nuts for that. Imagine if people had that same sort of passion for your mission, for your business, for your income. That's the Sportify method, right? So let me just make sure I'm not missing any comments here. I'm streaming out to Twitter, Twitch, LinkedIn, YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, everywhere. I'm omnipresent. So we want to create, my aim when I come into a company is to create this well-oiled machine. So every member is not just a player, but they're thinking like a player, not like an employee. But they really want to crush it. They want to win like a star player. And that's really the aim of this Sportify method that I've been working on for years. It's an amalgam of my business coaching, decade plus experience as a business coach with my multi-decade experience as a coach in grappling and martial arts. So I don't want you guys to miss this. If you know somebody, please, please, please be sure to send them this link. It will go up and be saved, so you can go to the YouTube page and share this around. What's up, Bobby? What's up, Catch Jedi? Happy to see you, Will. Eddie, Victor, Simon, Mashawn, Harrison. Man, all you guys, love it. Give me a number one in the chat. Blow it up. Give me your location, what you're doing. Tell me what you do for a living. I'm going to show you how to make some more money, but I want to do it in the context of this Sportify method. Are you a gym owner? Do you run a gym? Do you teach personal training, or do you do privates in grappling or mixed martial arts? So let's first talk about what is this Sportify method that I developed. Okay. Where it came from is I was studying gamification. Okay. Gamification is this idea of taking elements from games and applying them in a sporting context. Does that make sense? So I'm trying to do, like, you've seen it, leaderboards, badges, that kind of thing. You see it all the time. But as I was studying this, I realized there was limitations. Like, there's been a lot of academic research done on gamification, and it really has to do with what motivates people. And gamification relies heavily on external motivation. It's called extrinsic motivation in the literature. Now, that only goes so far. People are only so motivated to win by trinkets and whatnot. They need what's called intrinsic motivation. To me, this is the difference between one of the main differences between the Sportify method and the gamification method. And a lot of that comes from coaching. You have to add coaching to get everybody aligned, to get the team performing, to really make sure that that internal motivation is going. And what that means in a business context is transforming your your managers into coaches to get that performance out of these people. Does that make sense? Oh, we got a great comment. Let's see here. This is Bobby Chandavong. I hope I'm not messing that up. From Arkansas, personal trainer and wrestling dad. Love it, bro. How's your business going? Hoping you're making some money, buddy, especially if you're a dad. Adventure Overland Canada. Just spent the week with guys at Scientific Wrestling Canada in Windsor. Shout out to those guys. They are on fire. Great guys, great spot to train, awesome skills. 100%, dude. If you are near Detroit or you are in that part of Canada, get over to Scientific Wrestling Canada. They were actually our very first affiliate. These guys are 100% on board, really carry the ethos and the passion. And man, yeah, you can't go wrong. Marco and Carmen are just fantastic guys, fantastic group. And that team is growing fast. Hey, appreciate that, Adventure Overland Canada. That's awesome. Yeah, guys, if you want me to help me, I'm happy to help you. Throw out comments, ideas. Tell me what your business is, where you're struggling, like what your job is. It's what I do. You guys should check it out if you want to see some testimonials of what I can do on the business side. You guys may have done athletic coaching or may know me from inventing the mace bell and the fitness coaching involved with that, the odd object lifting. But the Sportify method is not your typical run-of-the-mill management model. It is truly, truly a massive shift in how to approach leadership, right? Like I said, the core of this is transforming your managers, and maybe you're a manager, into a coach, right? And this includes thinking like a coach, having a playbook, having strategies, focusing on mindset, getting engagement, relationship building, goal setting, things like emotional intelligence, right? So again, it's not just about like the tic-tac-toe board, just the X's and O's. It's really about the heart and soul of building a great championship team. Does that make sense? So if I were to give you really kind of the key takeaway of what the Sportify method is really about, is it's a roadmap to creating a high-performing, emotionally intelligent, cohesive, aligned team to help you guys win. And in the sport of business, that winning the points are revenue. Revenue solves all problems. Okay, yeah, you want to make sure you're spending this down and you're efficient. But the first thing is you got to get your revenues up. And so we got to get points on the board, and you're only going to get there by having a badass team. And that is really the core of it. Okay. So how does this fold in, this Sportify? How does it fold into what I'm doing with number one, right? Number one is my company. Sportify is a method. Revenue engineering is a method. They click together in something that I call number one. Okay. I can't think of it as any other thing than the number one advantage. That's what I call it. Okay. Anish Nagare says, I have a boxing background and want to get into wrestling, but don't have the facilities. How can I start at home? You need to find somebody else to wrestle with, just like boxing. So, you're going to have to do your best to educate yourself to become enough of a team captain where you can start attracting people that will wrestle with you. And you need to foster this environment. So, for example, we have in Scientific Wrestling, one of my companies, we have the Scientific Wrestling Affiliate Program. And that part of what comes with that is, there's this crazy value stack. Like, I really build it where you'd be stupid not to do it. And one of them is they get the coaching catch program. To get to assistant coach, that's just technique. You got to figure out all the different techniques and strategies on playing the game. But when you get beyond that, from assistant coach to full coach is truly leadership, organization, putting on tournaments, providing opportunities for your athletes. So that's really where you need to start. I mean, I don't know if you don't have technique and you don't have a group, then you need to work on both. I hope that helps. So back to what I call this number one advantage. Okay. The number one advantage is really, imagine having a co-pilot or you're Luke Skywalker and you got a Yoda, right? You're the athlete on the field. You're the one that's at practice at 5 a.m. doing free throws and layups. You're the one getting elbowed in the face because you're in a highly competitive game and the ref didn't see, and you got to just suck it up and win anyway. You're the one that is sore as hell the next day. You're the one that has to get up after losing. You're the one that celebrates when you win. You're the one that cashes the check when you win the big pot. Okay. But we are the coach. We will lay out how to do it, how to help you, all of that. Right. So part of what we do, number one, part of my philosophy with number one, and you could see it manifested on my other businesses, and number one itself is no different. And that is, I align with the very best on the planet that I possibly can. I try to figure out how to bring them in, align it, make it valuable for them. Okay. So for example, I wanted Scientific Wrestling. I keep using that because that's probably my most famous company in terms of just broad exposure. I wanted Scientific Wrestling to be the best. And in particular, we started out with catch wrestling. We broadened out for wrestling for MMA, but catch wrestling is, in my opinion, the best base skill set. And then we supplement it with folk style wrestling, and then some jiu-jitsu sensibilities, some sambo sensibilities, Greco-Roman, all this other stuff. Anyway, I went to the top. Started out with Carl Gotch, literally the greatest name. Then doubled down and put in Billy Robinson. And then because I'm the kind of guy, when I see my competition drowning, I shove a garden hose down their throat. Then we got Wade Chalice, greatest pinner in the history of the game. Number one. So what I did with number one, as I keep telling you, if we're going to look at the sport of business, winning is putting points on the board. Those points are revenue. I went to the number one guy, Grant Cardone. I dedicated myself, focused, became the number two in my first year, the number two 10X business coach for Grant in my first year with the program. Then got invited to be on the elite program where Grant actually gives me his clients and I help because I've proven myself. Just worked with a young lady today. Within 3 months, we've out of nothing. She had nothing. She's an Olympic gymnast coach, put together some programs. She's sold, I think, $15,000 worth of coaching. Plus, she has 5 more, which potential clients that she could close before Thanksgiving, which means she'll be up over $50,000. This is what I do with the 10X coaching. It's focused on sales, marketing, prospecting, bringing in the revenue, right? It's sales, it's conversions. There are 3 things that need to happen for you to succeed as a business owner, or if you're trying to help a business owner. So everybody's in that boat. You're either a business owner or you're trying to help a business owner. Okay, if they're under $3 million, there's 3 things that has to happen. First, the deliverable needs to be tight, meaning what you're selling, the product or service. You got to have it down, know what it is, and it's got to be valuable to other people. Once you have that, the rest relies on the other 2 pillars, and that's promotion or marketing and conversion or sales, right? So the 10X business coaching is there to provide you with the number one best sales and marketing training so you can understand what needs to happen, how you can delegate it to people so you're not being taken advantage of by people that you hire maybe or outsource for your marketing or your sales, right? So it's educational process, coaching, that secret sauce that takes it from gamification to sportification, to sportifying. The second thing that we do with number one is we add in the revenue generating, what I call revenue engineering is the product, right? So revenue engineering is how are we going to get you the leads? So we have a bunch of different AI ways of actually delivering you leads right now that you can start calling or emailing or texting to start getting your money, right? But then how do you generate your own leads? Through inbound marketing, like TikTok ads, Facebook ads, Meta ads, right? Which is on Instagram as well. LinkedIn ads. Like, how do we do that? That's the revenue engineering part. The reason that I joined with Grant on the 10X business coaching side is that his processes have proven to increase revenues 30% in under 90 days, 30% minimum. Okay. And they are the training that is provided by Cardone and now me is responsible for billions of dollars in transactions, legit badass stuff, right? So what I want you to understand, what I mean by that number one advantage is that when you're with number one, we're not just playing the game, man. You are playing to win. You're not just playing the game, you're playing to win when you're with number one, right? So now I want you guys to also understand that, part of inbound marketing, which is part of the revenue engineering that we offer, is also Google Display Network, right? It's SEO, right? You have to have a solid online presence. It's what the business card used to be. Business cards are pretty much useless unless you're entering them in for a raffle. So you still need them if you go to a meeting and you want to get win on a raffle. But otherwise, it's going to be all about your digital presence. And SEO is truly, truly one of the quickest ways to start making money, with whether you have a gym, like a brick and mortar location, a retail shop, or you have an online shop, right? SEO is not a luxury. It is a necessity. This is one of the first things that we do when you sign on to be a client with us. Now, for me, I watch technology. My wife and I have a software company, so I am like deeply, deeply involved with technology, which is what led me to gamification, which led me to sportification or sportifying my idea. But you have to always, always be focused. Hungarian, is this an ad read? No, it's not an ad read, man. Ask me some questions, dude. It's live. It's live. I'll help you. If that helps you, no, it's not an ad read. That is the answer to your question, but I'll take whatever you want, man. I don't let people on this because I have to stream. I say this every time. I have to stream on this channel to Instagram, but I'm going out to LinkedIn, Facebook, Twitter, Twitch, who else? Through this page, through this camera. So if I bring you in, these people won't hear you. Does that make sense? But you can ask questions. I will answer it. Hungarian. Okay. LMAO. Okay. So again, back to technology, dude. Like I've taken all these different assessments, right? An IQ test could be an assessment. I don't know. I've taken it multiple times. You score different every time. This is kind of a secret. You get a distribution. You get an idea of like what your average score is. My highest score was over 140. My lowest score is 120. I typically score in the high 120s, low 130s, to give you an idea. That's an assessment, right? But honestly, what does that tell you? It just tells you how good you are at taking IQ tests, honestly. That's my assessment of the IQ test. But there's other ones, like there's the Clifton Strength. And it says that my number one strength is being a learner, and my number two is being an achiever. So I love learning new things. And I'm going to tell you, I follow technology. VR, okay, yeah, it's cool. Didn't really grab me. Blockchain, I actually really like it, but it still didn't grab me. I understand it. I've traded. I made good money with it. Still doesn't grab me. I don't think they're ready. We can't completely divorce it from all the legacy systems of tax and central banking. And I wish we could. I wish all that stuff would just go away and we go straight to ADA or XRP or Bitcoin, right? But it's not happening. But the one technology that has completely gripped me I've spent probably $20,000 in educating myself in the last 6 months to try to get up to speed is AI. And AI is a bit of a misnomer. It is not artificial general intelligence, meaning it's not as smart as a human. It's not what's that company from Terminator? We're not in that kind of trouble, right? AI is just a way that a computer, the power of computing is so powerful now that they can look at language statistically and doing things by cluster analysis, Markov chains. They can create language that really fools us into thinking that it's intelligent. Okay. But it is amazing what it can do, because now with so much data on the internet, there's so much data. It's unbelievable. Your average person today, I can't remember what the exact stat is, but your average person today gets the data the average person today gets in a lifetime, in a day, is like what somebody in the 13th century got in an entire lifetime. Like, it's so much data. So these models are really robust and really, really convincing. Where am I going with this? So for number one, I have really leaned in hard. Like I said, really leveraged my superpower as a learner and achiever and thrown in a lot of money on top of that. I've gotten certifications from Vanderbilt, Darden, in AI, and in particular AI for marketing. So we have a bunch of methods to help you get leads right away, also to generate content, and how to bang on the algorithms to get the most reach with the help of AI. This is something that I don't think a lot of other people are doing in this space. And this is what I call revenue engineering. Revenue engineering is, I have a master's degree in something called financial engineering, which is basically using mathematics to create synthetic securities, financial instruments, to help mitigate risk or to take on risk, to gamble. And that could be good or bad. A lot of people in the news have been really rough on financial engineering, but I think financial engineering is a very valuable thing. So I've taken that and focused on revenue engineering, and particularly using technology to generate leads and then using sales coaching to help convert those. Does that make sense? We've got, I don't know how to say your name. Let's see. Chin Mayet. Hey, brother, I'm 17 right now. Am I too late for wrestling? No. Just go start. Stop waiting. Go figure it out. Show up. Get in the room. Get beat up for a while and hang in there until you start beating people up, period. It's not even – the hardest part is making yourself do it. You got to just get in the room. So anyway, technology, man, key takeaway here is, like, in the world of business, man, the early bird just doesn't just get the worm. It gets the whole shebang. You've got to jump on. And if you can't do it, get with somebody who can. Okay. That's really one of the things. Now, I want you guys to know that this is real. You can go to this website, No1, just like this, no1.llc/10x. You can see all the testimonials, video testimonials of the money I make people and quit. Not a get rich quick scheme. You're going to work your ass off. I definitely take the wrestling approach to grind and overwhelming yourself and challenging yourself and pushing you past your preconceived limitations into your full potential. I take that very, very seriously. Okay. I would like to see you guys succeed. I would like to see you. Hey, what's up, Israel? Happy to see you, buddy. Happy to see you. I would like to see you guys succeed. So please, please, please check it out. Right now, this is the time to do it, man. You want to be a player watching? You're going to be a spectator? You're going to be the MVP. I'm giving you that choice. Now, you can do that in grappling. You can do that in wrestling. You can do that in martial arts. You can also do that in business. And if you do that in business, I will say this. Sometimes when we do it in athletics and wrestling, you have to be an exceptionally selfish person. To be a champion, you have to be exceptionally selfish. That's not negative, because as a byproduct, you end up inspiring other people. You push boundaries. You show what the human being is, their full potential is. There's great things about that kind of selfishness, right? The great thing is when you apply that same ethos and passion and whatnot to business, it's not as selfish. You are getting the benefits. You're making more money, but you're also creating value, creating jobs, and doing all this. So if I can help you, man, I am here to do so, right? The best time to act was yesterday. The second best time is right now. Hit me up in the DMs. Go to No1 LLC. You can hit me up at info@no1 LLC. You can text me at 877-366-1917. There's an No1 in there if you give a crap. I think it's the 619 part. Anyway, guys, appreciate you. That's really a wrap for today. I will hang out, answer some questions. I do have a hard stop here because I got a client in about 20 minutes. But I will answer questions. Remember, in the sport of business, you are either coaching your team to win or you're losing. You need to figure out what you're doing. You need to get people on your team that want you to win. Right? This is Coach Jake signing off on the official material. Hang around if you have questions. I'll stay online for the next 5-10 minutes answering questions. Until next time, make sure you are sportifying your life and especially your business. Appreciate you guys. Yeah, I'll stick around if you guys have got any questions. Otherwise, I'm going to jet and get on to my day. Stellar Steven says, start wrestling and do no-gi BJJ. Yes, sir. Chinmayet says, can I do something? Great. I don't even have good genetics. Dude, your mind is much more important than your genetics. I hate to break it to you, and people are going to be all blah, blah, blah. Look at somebody like Danny Way. Danny Way is a skateboarder, okay? And he said something crazy. He said, I am going to, on a skateboard, jump the Great Wall of China. That is a crazy claim. He got the entire world's attention with this. Millions of dollars, TV cameras, everybody got set up. They built this giant ramp. And the night before, he's kind of freaking out. He's like, holy shit, what have I done? What have I done? So he sneaks out because he doesn't want to flub in front of everybody. And he's like, dude, I need to go figure this out. He sneaks out in the middle of the night when nobody's around, takes a test run, goes down the ramp, barreling down, getting that much velocity to clear the entire thing and land. And he messes up the landing, breaks, I think maybe breaks both ankles on the landing. And he's still got to do the jump for everybody tomorrow. Okay? His genetics did not help him overcome that because he did overcome that. His mind did. The next day, with broken ankles, he did it and stuck the landing in front of everybody. You have to understand the power of sustained focus is magic. I don't know a better word to describe it. Some people might call it placebo, but it is this power, or you can call it belief. Sustained focus is magic. Single-minded focus. Sustained over time. If you want it to happen, then this isn't the secret because that is the first step. The first step is single-minded focus over time. Number one. Number two, second step, massive amounts of action. This includes risk-taking. If you can't do either one of those, then pack it in. And maybe you got hit in the head and have problems with focus, or, maybe you just have so much trauma you can't take risk or take action, or I don't know. But like I look at like Kyle Maynard, the wrestling champion with no arms and legs. You either make progress or you make something of yourself or you make excuses. I don't know how else to be more direct about it. Right? Let's see here. Sachit Bopana. Sir, how much do I charge a client for SEO? It depends on the client. You need to do a needs analysis, figure out what they're trying to do. right? What I typically would suggest as a base, you need to figure out like, you know, I'm Sachi Bopana. You're looking like you're outside of the United States. What I would probably do, I don't know. So I hope I'm not making a shitty assumption here, but just to, for the sake of time, I'm going to assume a few things. So if you're outside the United States, one, make sure your English is good. Two, start marketing to people in America where, you know, obviously the standard of living, there's more money, that kind of thing. You can go to UAE, go to the United Arab Emirates. It's like they have money. Like you need to find where the money is. You need to find what they need. And then what I would look at is what are your costs? What is it? What is the cost of goods sold? What is the cost of services? So you definitely know you need to clear that, right? And when I talk about that, I'm also talking about your pay, owner pay. What do you want to get paid? So that's the first hurdle. Like that's what you need to figure out. That's the first hurdle on pricing. Then you need to do a little research and figure out, you know, what are the comparables? What are other people offering for the same price? You have to remember price is all made up, dude. Sure, there are supply and demand issues, but what happens is it's this emergent property that happens because everybody's already engaged and it's been doing commerce for years and these values are set up. This is why things like when the government gets involved with like, you know, changing the currency, like money supply and inflation and deflation, it's just such a disaster, dude, because it makes it really difficult for people to figure things out. So anyway, figure out your costs of service, including your pay, and then look at comparables. That's the first place you want to start. Then you want to see where you can deliver things at a better, lower cost, meaning like sourcing your materials, right? So the thing is if you're doing SEO, you're probably going to be relying heavily on Google, and Google's prices are going to be standardized. So you can't really do arbitrage to find better deals on the SEO per se. And so you need to get better at understanding the algorithm. And maybe you can, through your studies and your insights and experimentation, figure out how to do it better than competition. And then if you can do it better than competition, meaning one of the problems is if we assume the price is made up, then what do we actually, how do we measure value? And one of the things in business that you hear this thrown all around, and I think it's a great metric. I mean, everybody's going to try to be smarter than the other guy and say, oh, don't worry about this, that. I'm just saying it's like a general good place to start instead of price sometimes is to start thinking of return on investment. So if you can say for SEO, charge $600 a month, you need to make sure that your client is making 700, 800, more than what you cost. Otherwise, you're not going to get a renewal. I hope that makes sense. Sachit Bopana says, thank you so much, sir. I have a better understanding now. I hope it helps. But I think comparables are a good place to start, and then also looking at your fixed costs. And if your fixed costs, you can't do it and then still beat the comparables, you got to figure some way out, dude. You either have to provide more value and sell people on that so you can get the money that it's going to cost to cover your expenses, or you need to find a different place to get your deliverables, your supplies, to reduce your costs. I hope that helps. All right. Anybody else got questions before I jump out of here? Nitish, Josh Sri Ram. I like it, dude. Om Namah Shivaya. I don't know. That's the only one of those I know from getting my yoga certification. Okay, guys, I'm going to let this bang out for another 5 seconds. Oh, Stellar Steven, did you write a book on AI? I was looking for your books on Amazon recently. Well, I didn't write a book on the subject of AI. I'm in the process right now of potentially writing a book on the nexus between AI and quantum computing. Super nerdy. Probably won't write it only because very few people right now would be understanding it. I do this. I write books that like 10 years in the future will be valuable. Like I wrote a book called Endonomics, which pretty much lays out what's going on in the world today. But it doesn't mean it's great for selling at the time. So I don't know if I'm going to do that book, but I did write a fiction book that was AI assisted. And I call that Chains of Illusion. Really proud of it. I've dabbled in fiction. I have my undergraduate degree. My master's is financial engineering, but my undergraduate's in English. And so I've always been fascinated with writing. In fact, I only went to writing to get an English degree. I was originally a film major and realized, oh man, I need to actually learn how to write so I can create my own films. Anyway, that real NJV. Hey man, what's up? Stellar Steven. Yeah, that's the one I saw listed. What is a hip toss? A hip toss is a kind of wrestling throw where, say, you get somebody's arm in their head and you punch them with your hip and pull them and they go over. I don't know if that helps you. Stellar Steven, wasn't aware of it. So yeah, Chains of Illusion, I really, I've had this idea, and sometimes I feel like you can tell more truth in fiction than you can with nonfiction. And so I came up with a premise, and the premise is, in Chains of Illusion, what if, speculatively, what if all of these UFO, because during the time, about 2 months ago, 3 months ago, everybody was talking about these UFO sightings and how they're real or whatever. So I said, well, what if this is all a manipulation? What if, just like an old G.I. Joe episode, for those of you guys old enough, what if the evil workers in the world, and basically I made up characters that were kind of like an amalgam of like Klaus Schwab from the WEF, the World Economic Forum, and George Soros and Bill Gates. I mean, these like this shadowy cabal of super wealthy people. And what if, and there's some precedent for this, like Werner von Braun, who was the Nazi, he was a Nazi, and he was brought over under Operation Paperclip after World War II to help us develop our rockets to go into outer space and to do space travel. Well, he had always said, like, hey, the one way we can unify the planet under one ruler is to create this idea of an external threat like space invasion, and everybody will unite under that. And I said, well, what if the Nazis, the premise of Chains of Illusion, my book, Stellar Steven, is that what if the Nazis faked losing World War II? They made it look like they lost, and everybody in the world outside thought they lost. They did some bullshit Nuremberg trials and didn't get Mengele. Hitler faked his death, moved to Venezuela, and there's some evidence to point in this direction. What if all that actually happened and they infiltrated the United States just like they did through Operation Paperclip and created this UFO phenomenon to create a singular technocratic government? So that's the premise. And what I did is I created a character named Sam Jefferson. The character is the descendant of Thomas Jefferson and Sally Hemings, the slave. So he's half black, half white. And Sam Jefferson is a military strategy professor at West Point. And he stumbles on a top secret document in the stacks somewhere. It was folded in a book. And he pulls it out, and it's this whole operation laid out. And he's like, holy crap. And everything starts making sense. And how does he launch a counteroffensive when all technology is a bug and tracks you? And how does he actually, as a West Point military strategist, overcome these chains of illusion? That's the premise. Hope that's not too long-winded for you. Sachi Bopa, Pana. Sir, the UFO UAP is a distraction. Yeah, that's the premise of the book. I think you'd like it. Chains of Illusion. Go get it on Amazon. Harrison McMahon, one of my coaches is going to contact you about coming to Wichita, Kansas. Hit me up, dude. Just hit me in the DMs. I'm not, you can reach me on the phone. You can reach me via email. It's all out there. I look forward to it. That'd be really cool. That real NJV says, is that real legal? A hip toss? Yes, a hip toss. Well, I mean, I don't know. Not in boxing. Not in basketball. It is legal in combat sports by and large. It used to be legal in bare knuckle boxing. So the old bare knuckle boxing, the same bare knuckle boxing that Billy Robinson's great grandfather was a champion in England. I don't know if you guys know that, but I think it was his great grandfather was champion bare knuckle boxer. But anyway, no, just like you see bare knuckle boxing on I don't know. Ken Shamrock's promoting it now. I think it's Valor, or I can't remember. But anyway, no gloves. Boom, boom, boom. Beat each other up. But you could take the guy and hip toss him. Kind of interesting. Fun sport. Looked like Sanda or whatever. You know what I'm talking about, that Chinese sport. All right, guys, I'm about to jump off here. I do have a hard stop. Any other questions, any other concerns? However I can help you, I'm here. I am here to help you put points on the board, especially with regards to combat sports and business. Happy to help you. Like I said, I don't know if you guys even know what my business background is. Started a couple companies that are doing millions of dollars in revenue, have a master's degree of financial math, worked in investment banking, mortgage banking, worked as a quantitative analyst, statistician, invented a whole new fitness protocol with the Mace Bell and Mace Bell strength training, which has evolved into all these other offshoots, which is really fun. Obviously, my efforts with scientific wrestling. I don't know. Anyway, guys, I'm out of here. Appreciate you showing up. I'm trying to do these. I'm very, very busy, but that's why I haven't been on here in over a month. So the last 2 days, I'm like, I'm going to get on here. Join me this weekend. If you are anywhere near Colorado or can do it, fly in. Hotels are cheap. We're going to be in Sterling this weekend at Garcia Sports, our affiliate. It's our second American affiliate, our second Colorado affiliate. Paul Garcia is a great coach. He's creating tons of scholastic champions out of that gym. We're going to be there, me and my very good friend out of Salt Lake City, Utah, Brandon Ruiz, who is just one of the greatest human beings, but also a just real stud. All-American Greco-Roman, Machado, 4th degree black belt, I believe. Fila, now UWW World Grappling Games, multi-time world champion. You guys are going to miss out. You need to get into the room, dude. I don't know what else to tell you. You have to show up. I show up at all of these. I've showed up at all of them, almost every single one that we've done in 15 years, dude. And we do like over 10, sometimes as many as 20 in a year. We're on track to do 20 camps this year. Get in the room. Get in the room. Do it. Figure it out. It's not impossible. Just get in the room. You have to do it. So I appreciate you guys. Remember, coachingcatch.com is where you sign up for that. If you want to go check out the value stack at scientificwrestler.com and get on the mission with us, my coaching comes with that. Or you can, if you have just a business that's not grappling related, and I'm happy to help you with that. No1 LLC. No1.LLC is the website. Appreciate you guys. Make sure I'm not missing any comments. All right, I'm out of here. See you next time.